Is Max Christie taking over? The Lakers' small forward battle has exploded with Vanderbilt's injury. Hey guys, this is Guilherme, and today's topic is crucial for the Lakers' future. With Vanderbilt out, the fight for the SF position is heating up. Is Max Christie ready to take over? And what will happen with Hachimura and Cam Reddish? This competition could change the entire dynamics of the season, and you won't want to miss any details. Stay with me because what's coming could decide the direction of the Lakers. Let's go? And let's get to today's news, but first just make sure you're already subscribed to the channel, because the next videos will be a series of content that will help you stay informed about everything related to the Lakers. Turn on the notification bell and select the all option. After that, we'll send you everything breaking that comes out behind the scenes of the Lakers. Lakers fans, we have a goal of 80 likes to hit on this video. In the last video, we hit the goal in less than an hour. Prove that you are Lakers fans and leave a like so we can hit this goal soon. It's always good to have you here. Today, we have some interesting and somewhat unexpected news about Jarred Vanderbilt. Last season, he was very close to returning, but now things seem to have changed. According to Mike Brahan of Lakers Spectrum Sportsnet, there is a possibility that Vanderbilt will not be ready for training camp or the preseason. We don't have much information yet, so it will be interesting to follow closely how this develops. The big question here is a foot injury, which has been bothering Vanderbilt since February. He decided not to undergo surgery at the time, and now the question is whether he will be recovered in time to play. There are not many details at the moment, and this raises the uncertainty as to whether he will actually be available for the start of training camp. The situation is a bit puzzling, especially since he almost made it back to the playoffs last season. He was even available for the final game of the first round against the Denver Nuggets. However, it seems that this foot injury is still a concern, and the team has yet to officially confirm anything. For now, what we know is that Vanderbilt may not be ready for either training camp or preseason games. We'll have to keep an eye on it to see how everything plays out. If Jarred Vanderbilt is indeed not ready for training camp, how could that impact the Lakers' rotation? It's a big question, especially considering that he's a key part of the team's defense. Without him, the team would need to explore other options, such as Max Christie or even Cam Reddish, to fill the void. Another possibility would be to return to the lineup that worked well at the end of last season, with Rui Hachimura on the wing. It's worth noting that over the last 32 games of the regular season, the lineup of D'Angelo Russell, Austin Reeves, LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and Hachimura has been quite effective. They've put up one of the 4 best records in the NBA over that span. While the defense has been in the bottom 5, the offense has made up for it, and the team has remained competitive. So there's a solid case for going back to that starting lineup if Vanderbilt is unavailable. It's proven to be effective and offers a good mix of skills. The only other proven lineup was the one used during the 2023 season with Vanderbilt, who helped lead the team to the conference finals. Without him, the team will have to adjust its rotation, and it will be interesting to see how that plays out in the coming weeks. Now, while we wait for more news on Vanderbilt's status, we can look at how the team can continue to maintain the consistency it achieved late last season. Coming out of the trade deadline last season, the lineup that included D'Angelo Russell, Austin Reeves, Vanderbilt, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis was one of the most promising. Like the lineup that included Hachimura, this one also produced impressive results, even with LeBron out for more than half of the games. They ranked as one of the top 5 defenses in the league, and on offense, they ranked in the top 15. What makes this combination even more interesting is that, despite limited time on the court, this 5-man lineup had the best net rating of the entire team. However, they only played 31 minutes together all season, which, let's face it, is pretty frustrating. I really would have liked to see more of this lineup in action, and we may still get that chance, just not in Game 1, it seems. If Vanderbilt is truly unavailable at the start of the season, Christie becomes an option that deserves more attention, especially during training camp. He could compete directly with Hachimura for a spot, and even Cam Reddish could surprise and enter that competition. As for the newcomer Dolan, I don't think he will have a significant impact at the start, but we'll keep an eye on how everything plays out. The competition for these spots will be interesting to see in the coming days. I understand that the defense may not be enough with Hachimura, but honestly, with him on the court, it doesn't improve that much. Now, looking at the options, I believe that Max Christie, of all of them, would be the best fit for this role. He has an interesting combination of offense and defense. Of course, we can't say that he's a solid 3-and-D just yet, but he has a lot of potential. We talked about this a lot over the summer, and his numbers are promising. He's a 38% three-point shooter, and on top of that, he's already an above-average defender with room to improve even more. If the idea is to replace Hachimura with Christie, or even consider moving Reeves to the bench, something I think is unlikely, it is important to remember that the team's continuity matters a lot. With a new coach like J.J. Redick, I believe he will bet on this continuity to maintain the team's consistency. The last thing you want to do at the beginning of a season is to change too much the structure that already works. D'Lo and Reeves have shown that they fit well alongside LeBron and Anthony Davis, especially on offense. They are comfortable together, and changing that now without a real need would not make much sense. We will see how Redick handles these options, but betting on stability seems to be the most logical path at this point. Maybe later on, if Christie is playing so well that it becomes impossible to leave him on the bench, or if both he and Cam Reddish are performing at a high level, and one of the starters like Reeves or D'Lo is going through a bad phase, then it would make sense to consider a change. But for the first game of the season, I would keep D'Lo and Reeves in the starting lineup. LeBron and Anthony Davis are sure things, of course. The only real open spot is at small forward, and in that case, I would give the edge to Hachimura. With Vanderbilt still questionable due to injury, and it's unclear whether he'll be ready for training camp or later in the preseason, Hachimura seems like the safest choice. If Vanderbilt misses some time, Hachimura would be the logical option to fill that void. Right behind him, I see Christie as the next pick. He's shown potential and could bring something different to the rotation. Cam Reddish is the one player who could surprise, kind of a dark horse in this matchup. But when you look at the fit Christie offers, both offensively and defensively, it makes a lot of sense to go with him. Christie is an effective catcher and shooter, which fits in well with players like LeBron and AD. He may not be the first option right now, but he's one to keep an eye on as the season progresses. Christie has shown himself to be one of the team's best three-point shooters, especially from the corner. Despite his low volume of attempts, he's shot 42.1% so far, one of the most efficient on the team. What makes Christie even more interesting is his ability to not only catch and shoot, but also attack off the dribble when the defense is tight. This makes him a valuable piece to the offense, as he doesn't need to have the ball all the time to be efficient and contribute. When it comes to an upgrade to the lineup, especially on defense, Christie seems like a good bet. Both he and Hachimura shot very well from three last season, with Hachimura hitting a personal best. However, Hachimura is likely to see a slight drop in that performance. After all, it's hard to consistently shoot 42% from beyond the arc. Sure, it would be great if that continued, but any drop in performance could impact their position in the rotation, especially since their defense, which was already a weak point, has been lacking even before the playoffs. This makes me wonder if it wouldn't be worth considering taking Hachimura out of the starting lineup since the defense with him hasn't been as consistent. And that's where Christie comes in as a solid option. He brings a balance between offense and defense that at the moment could be exactly what the team needs to improve its performance on both ends of the floor. As I mentioned before, after the trade deadline, the team was among the top 5 defenses with Hachimura in the starting lineup. Even so, they managed to finish the season with over 50% winning percentage, which is remarkable. Now, if the idea is to improve the lineup without making major changes, an interesting option would be to add a player with a 3-and-D profile, and the best bets in that case would be Christie or a fully formed Cam Reddish. I think we can all agree that Christie fits that role better. However, a healthy Cam Reddish could also be a viable option, although we haven't seen it often. Over his 5 years in the NBA, he's only been able to show that potential for a month or two per season. But when he's fit, he's been able to fill that role well. During that month of November and December, he shot over 35% from 3, had nearly 2 steals per game, and played top-notch defense. He may not be on the same defensive level as Jarred Vanderbilt when he's healthy, but Reddish is arguably the second-best perimeter defender on the team, better than Christie at the moment. Now Christie has plenty of room to improve, but for now, Reddish is the most solid defensive option when he's fit. If he has a good training camp and stays healthy, he could make a significant impact, especially over Hachimura, and even surpass Christie, who is still proving himself as a consistent option. With Jarred Vanderbilt potentially out with an injury, it seems like the competition for that spot in the rotation is going to get tougher. I initially thought it would be down to Hachimura and Vanderbilt, as they are the only two proven fits with the other four players in the starting lineup. However, without Vanderbilt, the need for competition increases, and I think players like Christie and Reddish will be more likely to step up, especially if Vanderbilt misses much of training camp and perhaps the start of the regular season. Of course, I hope that doesn't happen. While reports indicate that Vanderbilt will likely be ready for the regular season, it's important to remember that training camp and the preseason are essential to the team's continuity. Even if it's just for a short period, maintaining the rhythm and harmony of the starting lineup and rotation goes a long way in helping the team carry that momentum into the season. Now tell me, what do you think of this potential starting lineup if Vanderbilt is indeed out? Do you think it would be best to go back to the lineup from the end of last season with D'Lo, Reeves, Hachimura, LeBron, and AD? Or would you rather try something new, maybe with Christie or even Cam Reddish? I'm curious to know your opinion. Thank you for watching so far. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel to continue receiving the next content. Access our playlist now that will appear on the screen or in the pinned comment with all the latest news and breaking news about the Lakers, and stay up to date with the behind-the-scenes, highlights, last-minute controversies, transfers, everything about the Los Angeles Lakers team. Until the next video.